A tragic day has passed. Many have died, many have fallen. Moses goes up the mountain to plead for his people and is communicating with the Lord. Exodus 33:1. The Lord said to Moses, "Depart, go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought from the land of Egypt, to the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, to your descendants I will give you." We have seen discussions similar to this one occur many times, where God reminds people of the oaths and the promises that he has made in the past, and the continuing on to the next generation. Exodus 33:2. I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Exodus 33:3. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go up among you, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I destroy you on the way. So the Lord is going to prepare the way. He's going to send the angel in first. When we think of angels, it's usually all this fluffy, nice, friendly, it's the angels. But there's the second aspect, that they have missions assigned by God. And this one here, he's not going to go up there and make friends with the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. No, he's going to drive them out of the land with methods that are not so friendly and sometimes not very kind at all. It's almost like God's army, really. The Israelites are a stiff-necked people. They like to do their own thing. They don't like to be obedient. They don't like to really listen to God. Maybe they have some sort of desire to, but their actions do not match the desire. We saw previously where they made these oaths and they promised to follow God and whatnot, and then 40 days and 40 nights later, well, I guess it would have been more than that, but really in a couple months, here we go. They got a golden idol and they're dancing around and worshiping that, and have just fallen completely from the path that they claim to be on. And it's going to be a real struggle for the Israelites, and they're going to be very difficult. So it's going to take a long time to correct them, and the Lord knows that if he's too close to them in proximity, that it's just going to end in their destruction, right? They're so unruly. They need to be at like a distance. He's going to kind of overlook some things and kind of oversee others. And from that perspective, he's going to kind of try to change them so that they're a little bit better. And this is going to take quite a bit of time, many years, to kind of shape these people. The distance of the journey that they're going on technically isn't that long. But because of this unruliness and just the difficulty of dealing with the Israelites, it's going to take much longer than it should. And that's just part of the process of God working with the Israelites and trying to shape them into a way that's a little bit better. Exodus 33:4. When the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man put on his ornaments. 33:5. For the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. If I should come among you for one moment, I would consume and destroy you. Now therefore, leave off your ornaments, that I may know what to do with you. So the people, they've messed up a lot, and they're in mourning. Yeah, there's a lot of people that recently passed away after the event that took place after the molten golden calf. But then we have the news that Moses brought, that he relayed to the people about what their journey was going to be like. And that was probably even more depressing and sad and put the people in a state of mourning. It was probably the icing on the cake. So we have these ornaments, so probably jewels and bracelets and necklaces, armlets, toe rings, whatever it is. Things to fasten to the body to look more pretty. or to be distinct, or signs of wealth, or whatever it is. The men, they're not putting them on today. They've left them off as to show their degree of mourning and just how sad they are. Anyway. And then we get to the next line, and God says to leave them. So all these ornaments that they didn't put on, they're getting ready to continue on in their journey, and God's saying, no, don't take that stuff with you. You're leaving that here. All that jewelry and all that nice ornaments that was probably what these guys really enjoyed, that they have to leave it behind. God wants a people consecrated to Him. He wants them set apart from everyone else. And if they're all about their own gaudy jewelry and their own pride or self-image, narcissism, whatever, He's not a fan of that crap. So He's getting them to leave it behind. The second portion of this is looking at the righteousness and holiness of God, in that due to His particular properties, it would be destructive for Him to be in the presence of the Israelites. So He needs to be kept at a distance or in a veil to protect them. Exodus 33:6, and the Israelites left off all their ornaments from Mount Horeb onward. 33:7, now Moses used to take his own tent and pitch it outside the camp, far off from the camp, and he called it the tent of meeting of God with His own people. And everyone who sought the Lord went out to that temporary tent of meeting which was outside the camp. So Moses is up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights learning from God. God is teaching him. Comes down from the mountain. He sees all these people worshiping this golden molten calf, and then there's the struggle that ensues afterwards that results in many deaths. Afterwards, they're leaving the area and proceeding on their journey. So the tabernacle that was described on Mount Sinai has not been constructed yet. Moses is on the outskirts of the camp. So wherever the camp is, he's some distance away from it. He has his own tent up there, and God comes and communicates with Moses in His own personal tent. This is not the tabernacle that was described previously, and its fancy construction and everything. The Israelites aren't quite ready for that yet, and it is going to take quite a process to build the whole thing. Exodus 33:8, when Moses went out of the tent of meeting, all the people rose and stood, every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses until he had gone into the tent. 33:9, when Moses entered the tent, the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the door of the tent, and the Lord would talk with Moses. 33:10, and all the people saw the pillar of cloud stand at the tent door, and the people rose up and worshipped every man at his tent door. There's an interesting picture being painted here. We see the camp of the Israelites. They're all there camping out in the wilderness, all in their own individual tents. Well, I guess not individual tents. It's probably like families or something. There's probably decent sized tents, and I don't know how many people are in each one. Anyway, they're all there looking out to the distance to Moses's tent to see what's going on. They see this whole event, the theatrics of God interacting with Moses. We have this cloud. The cloud is a veil so that you could not see the Lord, for seeing Him would be destructive from His holiness. And we see the Lord communicating with Moses inside His tent, and all the people in the distance just being amazed by this event and worshiping the Lord at a distance, unable to come close, unable to build that relationship. Exodus 33:11, and the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. Moses returned to the camp, but his minister, Joshua's son of Nun, a young man, did not depart from the temporary prayer tent. So Moses communicates with the Lord directly in this tent. They're talking face to face, having an actual conversation. It's likely that after the 40 days and 40 nights that Moses has become more comfortable with communicating with the Lord, and he doesn't need to communicate by dreams or visions or voices, that they're actually able to have conversation. Then we have Joshua there. Moses is leaving the tent, but Joshua stays behind, and there must be something going on there. Maybe he's communicating with the Lord, and there's going to be something big for Joshua in the future. Normally it would be Aaron that would be with Moses. Aaron seemed to be inseparable from Moses, but after that scenario or situation where he made this idol, the molten golden calf, I think Aaron might be in the penalty box for a little bit. Exodus 33:12. Moses said to the Lord, "See, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor in my sight." 33:13. Now therefore I pray you, if I have found favor in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, progressively becoming more deeply and intimately acquainted with you, perceiving and recognizing and understanding more strongly and clearly, and that I may find favor in your sight. And Lord, do consider this nation is your people. So Moses, he is, I don't know if griping is the right word. He is trying to understand what is going on. What is the situation? How are they going to be led? Who's going to do the leading? What's going on here? He's got a lot of questions for the Lord. And he's saying, are we not, good friends? Are we not able to talk on a first name basis? We know each other, that, he's got a better connection with the Lord than the common Israelite. He's saying that about the relationship. And, he doesn't want the Lord to forget also that the Israelites are his people and that they need this leadership. They need God to direct them. And he's just wanting to find out more about what's going on. Exodus 33:14. And the Lord said, my presence shall go with you, and I will give you rest. So here we have the Lord reassuring Moses that he is going to lead them to the right place. And he is going to personally use his presence. In his presence, he is going to lead the way. He's not going to use a messenger here. He is going to lead the way himself. And then we have this idea of the rest. They get to the place and rest, but the rest is also another phrasing or idea of the promised land, getting to the completion process. Exodus 33:15. And Moses said to the Lord, if your presence does not go with me, do not carry us from here. So I think this is another one of those scenarios in the Bible that we're seeing a choice being made. We had option one, which was God was going to separate himself from the Israelites, and he was going to send the angel ahead to drive these people out of the land and to bring them in there in more of an expedient way. But Moses didn't really like that scenario. He did not want to be parted with God. He didn't want to be separated from the Lord. So we're going to go to option B, which is eventually going to turn into the wilderness wandering, where the Lord is still with the Israelites, and they journey together for 40 years. And it's a pretty intense journey. So I think that's what we have going on here. This is like the setup, the preamble to the wilderness wandering period. Exodus 33:16. For by what shall it be known that I and your people have found favor in your sight? Is it not in your going with us, so that we are distinguished, I and your people, from all the other people upon the face of the earth? This scenario we have here is very similar to what we saw previously when Moses was communicating with the Lord and going before the Lord and pleading the case of the Israelites. He's doing that again. These people, these are God's people. He doesn't want them to be abandoned. Why would God's people be separated from God? Moses doesn't want that to be the case. And he is looking for another option, a better option, one that doesn't involve the separation of Israel from the Lord. Exodus 33 and 17. And the Lord said to Moses, I will do this thing also that you have asked, for you have found favor, loving kindness, and mercy in my sight, and I know you personally and by name. Here we have a wonderful scripture that the Lord is going to listen to Moses and he's going to do this thing. He's not going to depart. He's not going to abandon the Israelites. He's going to stay with them. This certainly is a loving kindness and mercy. And we have this thing here. I know you personally and by name. We have this idea of them being on a first name basis, that there's that relationship between them. And that's just wonderful. Exodus 33 and 18. And Moses said, I beseech you, show me your glory. 33:19. And God said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, before you. For I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy and loving kindness on whom I show mercy and loving kindness. So Moses has a good relationship with the Lord, and he wants to know more of the glory of God. He wants to see him. For every time Moses has seen God, he's been in a veil. He has not been exposed to the true glory of God's presence. So God's holiness and God's glory are something that he owns possession of. It's not something that you can earn the right to. It's not something that you can pay to see. It's only up to God whether he decides to or not to reveal himself and be present that way. Exodus 33 and 20. But he said, you shall not see my face, for no man shall see me and live. The holiness of God is so intense that to gaze upon him is destructive. Exodus 33:21. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place beside me, and you shall stand upon the rock. 33 and 22. And while my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft of the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. 33 and 23. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. So due to the destructive nature of God's presence and the holiness of God's presence, that Moses can't actually look upon him, God has come up with this method for Moses to see an element of God. So he's going to pass by an area, and he's going to cover Moses up. He's going to be in this rock, almost buried in the rock, so that he can't gaze upon the Lord. And then after the Lord has gone by and is out in the distance, Moses will be able to gaze upon the back of the Lord to get a little bit of a glimpse of him. And then of course, because the chapters are, I don't know why they're set up like this, we get the rest of the story in the next chapter, and it's just a really cool situation.